back to the channel, fat boys. So welcome into the world of touring, kind of. I am up here at Black Bear Harley-Davidson, and they are allowing me to come and ride this Softail Heritage. Ooh, and this really is the entrance into touring motorcycle. If you want something to be able to tour and you have the touring motorcycle and you want the long distance haul, you want something, but you don't want the full-on bagger, this really is that really nice middle ground. It has the luggage already pre-installed for you. You got the floorboards, you got the nice comfortable apes on there, you already got the windshield, and you got the nice front lighting setup. It is super nice. This comes with the 114 already installed on it. Nice and lots of power. Let's go ahead and throw a leg over this to go ahead and get a nice test ride and review on this, shall we? As I'm swinging a leg on over, a little bit of background. I currently ride a 2021 Harley-Davidson Road King Special, so I am very comfortable and familiar with the touring platform, but I have also started out on a Sportster and also a Fat Bob. Going over a little bit of the controls right here, you got your cycle function, you got your horn, you got your high beams, you got your flashers, you got your left indicator, you got your fogs, you got your cruise control already pre-installed on here, which I actually really like. I love having cruise control. You got your hazards, you got your starter, you have your kill, and you have your pre. Go ahead and prime it. Nice clear indicator right there. I love having that. Sounds nice and tamed, super comfortable. This really does feel like a baby Road King, which I think is so funny and so cool. Let's go ahead and start talking about the ergonomics of this, shall we? I am 5'11", about 230-ish pounds with a 32-inch inseam, and I am feeling very comfortable on here. I really almost feel like I'm on a police cruiser right now. Shifting feels great. My knees are nice and bent. These floorboards feel absolutely amazing. Super comfortable. Absolutely love having these. And no wind so far, as I'm only going like 20 miles an hour. Shifting feels absolutely amazing. Clutch feels great. Throttle feels great, as it should, from a brand new bike. As I'm starting to get up to speed, this is why I'm not very big on big windshield bikes. I'm already starting to get buffeting. I'm only at 50 miles an hour. I'm not super big on it, but this does feel good. I feel fine. I would get tired of the buffeting, but if you're a person that doesn't get buffeting from these, then more power to you. This might actually be really great for that. I feel like the handling on this bike is really quite well. It feels like it really is quite easily able to lean into the corners, having the smaller tires and also lighter weight than the full-on touring, which is exactly what this bike is for. It is a touring motorcycle, so you're meant to be very comfortable, but it's just lighter for the person that isn't quite ready to go all the way up to the full touring motorcycle. This seat on here too is actually very plush, very comfortable. Me and my big ass on here, it feels quite nice, quite plushy. Feels like it really nicely cups the butt and feels nice and comfortable. Feels very soft for those long distance rides. Downshifting feels great. The suspension on here also feels really good. It is a Softail, so it does have the single monoshock underneath the seat, which I absolutely love having the monoshock. I feel like it really does absorb a lot of the impacts on the road and little finessments in the road that you really want to with your suspension. I absolutely love having the monoshock, and the front suspension also feels really good. I would wish these handlebars to be just a little bit higher. I feel like I'm almost on beach bars. They feel kind of low, but that just could because I have some 12-inch apes on, so I'm maybe a little bit more used to the higher apes, but these feel good. These feel nice and comfortable. Everything about this bike just feels good. The feeling of this bike really is good. There's nothing quite off-putting about it. I don't feel like there's anything quite so wrong with it that you really have to be quite aware of. Everything feels good. The saddlebags, you have bags already pre-installed on here, so you can throw all of your stuff in here. You have the windshield for if you want that, and it's easily removable. This is a quick detach windshield, so if you don't want it, you can take it off. You got a whole different style looking motorcycle. There's all kinds of things you can do with this motorcycle. Let's go and hit on it. plenty of power. Hell yeah. Thing quickly gets up to speed, no problem. Well, I love the 114. I'm already going highway speeds, so this feels absolutely fine going down the highway. You would have no problem going down the highway on this bike. Now into some of my opinions. For me, I'm not really big into the chrome, so if you can get this in the blacked out, I think it looks much better. But to me, this bike also doesn't really quite have a wow factor. It doesn't really have the aesthetics of like, ooh, that looks clean, or like, ooh, that looks super retro. It's kind of in a weird middle ground between new and retro. I feel like this bike really, it doesn't have that wow factor between really cool old school retro looking and really cool new looking motorcycles. It kind of has that middle ground. It's trying to be cool in that sense. It wants to have that old school look, and it's trying to keep to the old school look while still keeping modern, and it does do that. I think it does that exactly. So if you want that like old school look but you still want it to look modern, this is definitely a good bike for you. I'm just not quite a fan of that, but that is simply my opinion. Pushing on this bike, it does feel a little slow in the back and forth. It still feels really easy to move, but it just doesn't feel super quick in its movements. I feel like I really have to keep pushing long for it to do its movements through the corners. It doesn't feel like it just kind of tips over and moves as you might want it to super quickly. But riding up and down, man, I'm really quite surprised at how comfortable this bike is. This really could be a great bike for the person that doesn't want the full bagger, doesn't want the 800,000-900,000 pound bagger, but still wants something to where they're gonna feel super comfortable going down the interstate and also really comfortable touring. If you're doing thousands of miles, super easy for the person who has this motorcycle. And as we come on up to a stop here, up at the stop sign, give you a look at me flat-footing the motorcycle, putting my feet down. Front brakes feel okay, a little squishy, but I'm 5'2". I'm 5'11" with a 32-inch inseam, can't speak. You can see I'm clearly flat-footing, both legs, clear, bent knees. No problem at all flat-footing. Maybe it feels a little wide, so if you are shorter, you might have like a really nice wide foot base that you have to get around, but there's still plenty of room to be able to put your feet down on this motorcycle. Well, that is actually a kind of a common issue with these, that can be very easy to not lock the saddlebag, so you got to be very careful with that. Kind of also going over the bags a little bit before I completely close on out. You can see it's super easy to go in. It's just a nice little lock right here, a button, push, move. You just have to be really careful to lock them, make sure it is locked, because like I already said, they are kind of known for just kind of opening up. But I like the bike, guys. So final thoughts and impressions on the motorcycle. So I do like it. I do actually like this motorcycle. It feels very comfortable, feels very easy to ride. I can definitely see why someone would want this over a touring bike, but it's not really for me. I like it, but it's not for me. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's the best motorcycle in the world. It just means it's not for me. I wouldn't go and buy my money with this. I prefer something not quite in the middle ground between old school and new school. I'd rather something that looks 100% old school and be old school, or something that is 100% new and looks new. And the person who I think this motorcycle is really for is going to be that person that likes both the old school and the new school and isn't quite wanting to go for the 100% bagger. They still want a touring bike, but they want something that isn't on the touring platform, something lighter, something easier to move around, not quite as expensive. This really is the nice middle ground for you. If you like it, make sure you go ahead and give this video a nice thumbs up. It really does help out the channel. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And thank you, Black Bear, again for all the things you do here. Make sure you guys go ahead and check them out, and I'll make sure to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.